Hello and welcome to another Madeira video. In this video, we're going to be finding out if it's worth diving in Madeira and also a few little bonus exciting things. Without further ado, let's dive into it. I'm sorry, that was really bad, but let's. It is our second day on the glorious island of Madeira, and today we're about to go and do a dive. Right, Joanna and I love diving. We don't have a ton of experience, but we've done a few fun dives. And one of the things that we wanted to make sure in Madeira was to see if diving was actually worth it. So we booked a dive with a company that had been recommended to us by Joanna's previous diving instructor, Scuba. We are at the Scuba Dive Club at Vida Mar Resort here in Funchal, which is the main city in Madeira. It's 9 AM and we are about to get into our wetsuits and get ready. We were just trying on the wetsuit. Everything looks fine. We are equipped and ready to go. Unfortunately, we're going to have to switch to the DJI Action Cam vlog, so let's go. Now, I wish I had more footage of all of this experience and us getting on the boat and everything, and the boat ride, which was extremely choppy, but Joanna's action cam was set into time-lapse mode, so all we got were these super compressed videos where you can't really make out anything, it's just a blur of different little images. The dive spot called Garajal, which is a nature reserve for wildlife underwater, and that is absolutely amazing. So our expectations were pretty high at this moment. Wow guys, I'm sure that from these clips that you've been seeing, you can see that this is absolutely stunning. I mean, the visibility was incredible. I think it was 15 to 20 meters, so that means that 15 to 20 meters in front of you, you're able to see underwater, which is amazing, especially if you compare it to Portugal, where you can hardly see your hand in front of your face. I think it was the most wildlife-rich dive that we've both ever done. Really, really cool. So we are back from the dive. That was really cool. Joanna, I think she was able to get a few shots on the action cam. We'll be reviewing it later, so if you saw some really cool shots before this clip, good for you. That means that we did a nice job capturing. If not, well, I am sorry, but it was an amazing dive. The visibility was incredible. We could really see everything. We went down to 25 meters, which was super cool. We saw a big fish, which I think was a barracuda or a grouper. I need to check that out. And we saw a ray, a stingray, which was pretty large. I'd say maybe a full meter length. We'd never seen one that big, maybe 1.5 meters. Amazing.
The sea was pretty choppy, so the boat ride was a bit rough and getting onto the boat, but other than that, amazing. Team was super cool. Thank you to Esmeralda and Ricardo and Maria. And so yeah, amazing dive. Now let's go on to some other adventures. Happy with the dive?
So happy. I think it was the best one I've made so far.
I saw the biggest fish I'd ever seen.
Now, before I answer, is diving in Madeira worth it? I think it's time for us to go and have some food. If you've watched any of my previous videos, eating in Madeira is one of the best things that you can do, not just in Madeira, but in Portugal in general. So we wanted to experience the local cuisine and just take in all of the different experiences that we could. So we headed out to this restaurant that had been recommended by my cousin called O Viola, and it specialized in this dish called espetada de pau de louro. Now unfortunately this restaurant is super popular, so it was very full, and I had to call another restaurant around in that area and see if they had a place for us basically, and they did.
After the dive we are absolutely ravenous and we've met up with the rest of the crew. We are now at Adega da Quinta, which is a beautiful restaurant. It's a farm essentially. I think they must use this for weddings and stuff, and we are gonna have some lunch.
We thought that the prices were going to be out of the charts, but they weren't. They were actually pretty accessible. Espetadas em pau de louro, the bay leaf skewers. We did have very high expectations about this dish. I mean, every single person that had told us about Madeira, who had visited Madeira, told us about this dish. So, does it live up to the hype? Let's see.
So, we came to eat this traditional Madeira dish, which is the espetada. It's a skewer of beef, and look at how they do it. Hanging here, then you just serve yourself. The skewers are roasted on L'Oreal stick, which must give it a very specific flavor. So very curious to try this. Then we've got some roast veggies and some rice and Madeira cider. Cheers. As you know, when we sit down to eat, we've got to eat some bolo do caco. They brought us the biggest bread I've ever seen. That's incredible, and it looks amazing. Garlic and butter. Wow. Probably the best one yet. Really soft and crunchy on the outside. Wow. Done with lunch. This was probably our favorite restaurant up till now. This was truly spectacular. The espetada em pau de louro was amazing. The skewers, the beef skewers, and the bolo do caco was the best we've ever had. Couldn't be happier. The vibe of the place is also amazing. And look at this view. What is this? Wow.
Do espetadas live up to the hype? Yes, absolutely they do. If you like rare meat, you can ask for them like that, and I think that just enhances the flavor. They've got an amazing marinade of garlic, bay leaf, salt. Perfect. Honestly, it was my favorite dish in all of the trip. And if you want to see more about Madeira's gastronomy, please check out my video about Madeira's top 3 restaurants. I think you're going to enjoy it. We've still got one more thing to go and explore before we reveal if diving in Madeira is worth it. Madeira is very widely known for its viewpoints because as it's an island, you've got a bunch of different places on the island where you can have a beautiful view of the sea. This particular place that we wanted to find was called Miradouro da Janela, which is the window viewpoint. Basically, it's this rock formation, as you can see, that has a nice view into the water.
I'm here with the most beautiful man in Madeira, which is me. And we are on our way to watch the sunset. We're just arriving at the Miradouro, the viewpoint called Bridge. Let's check it out. We have run into a little problem because the road that the GPS was saying that we should go through was completely wrong, and we ended up in a dead end. Now we tried to find an alternative route, but we're not 100% sure that we're going to make it. We're going down the sketchiest set of stairs, and it's extremely long. We might fall into the river or into this banana plantation, who knows, but we're going to try. Thanks to Dora the Explorer here, we have found our way to the bridge, and here it is. Supposedly the road is closed, but only for us, because as you can see, a lot of cars going by, which is very unfortunate because we're going to have a huge climb back, but c'est la vie. Stairs are the weirdest thing to climb, so watch your step. This is the view. Pretty cool. And here we have this spot called the small window. Let's go and explore. We have made it. Small window with the bridge on the other side. Most radical man in Madeira. Whole team.
Now the main issue with this Miradouro is that it's not really worth it. We had already visited quite a few spots along the coast where the view over the sea and just the location in itself was much nicer. Obviously it's a nice view, especially at sunset. You're going to get some nice light, the sea is beautiful, and if you don't have many clouds in the sky, it's always going to be nice, but it wasn't spectacular. So if you're asking me, I would say that Miradouro da Janela is not worth it. I think it's important to share these things in these videos and be transparent and not just show the best things, because I think it's also worth knowing the things that might not be that worth doing. And there was something else very close by which we weren't planning on going to visit, but we ended up going to, which was the Cascata dos Anjos. Now this waterfall is very widely known because it crashes onto the street, onto the road where the cars go by. So you're driving in your car and you get the waterfall crashing on top of you. People also love to go and take pictures underneath the waterfall in the middle of the road, which is not good for traffic by any means. And so it was a whole ordeal. Honestly, we didn't get many pictures or videos, we just did a couple. I'll put them up here on the screen. And we did have to wait a long time to be able to enjoy the waterfall because there were so many people. It was sunset, so everyone went there at this time so that you could get the best light. My review of this Cascata dos Anjos waterfall, I don't think it's worth stopping there and trying to take pictures and stuff, because the pictures just look okay. I don't think they're spectacular or anything. Madeira has much better places to see, and you're going to most likely have to wait in a huge queue because at sunset a lot of people go there. Now, driving under the waterfall with your car just for the experience, and if you want to have the windows open and get splashed, that's all good, that's all fun. It's a quick thing, a quick drive, but more than that, I honestly wouldn't waste my time. This was probably my least favorite activity of the trip, to be honest with you. Now, let's not end the video on a negative note, because obviously, regardless of those two spots, the Miradouro da Janela and the Cascata dos Anjos not being my favorite, they were still pretty cool. They're not bad by any means. But we do want to end this video on a positive note. So, is it worth diving in Madeira? As you heard from my commentaries, the scenes are absolutely amazing. The visibility is incredible, the fish that you see are also beautiful as per the shots that you saw. Diving is a whole ordeal. We needed to be at the dive center at 8 AM if I'm not mistaken, I think that was the time. And we only left at 1:30. It is a very time consuming activity. For us that like diving, it is going to be worth it. But if you want to do your discovery dive, for example, if you've never done scuba diving before and it's just going to be your first experience, unless it's something that you imperatively want to do, you might not want to waste this huge amount of time that it takes to do the dive, because usually you're going to do 2 dives, which makes it all the more time consuming. This is because they take the boat out to sea, and so since you've already taken the boat out, you're going to maximize this trip and do 2 dives. So even if you only want to do 1, you're going to be stuck on the boat, as I was, but not by choice, while the other people are doing the second dive. That, for me, that's the main issue of diving when you're on holiday. It's the time consumption. This is not just in Madeira, but especially in Madeira, since most of the dives need to be done by boat. If it is via shore, you can only do 1 dive and have a shorter time frame. You would be done maybe at 11 AM instead of 1 PM, which is much more accessible. Now, on the other hand, it was incredible. It was my favorite dive that I've ever done. I've dived in Cape Verde, in Greece, in Portugal. I think those are the 3 places that I've dived in, and this one was undoubtedly my favorite one. The visibility was simply magnificent. You could see so much wildlife. It was incredible, and the fish weren't even that scared of you. It was impressive. So we could get really close. As you saw, Joanna was able to get some beautiful shots with her DJI action cam. By the way, if you want the link for that, I'll leave it in the description, because the quality of the image is really amazing. We just tested it out on this trip. So if you're a dive lover and you're willing to spend these 5-6 hours doing this activity, then undoubtedly diving is for you, because Madeira has some of the best scenes that I've ever witnessed. If you want the link for the dive club, I will also leave it down in the description. It's called Scuba Dive Club. They're a chain. They've also got dive centers here in the mainland, and they're very, very competent. They're a very, very good team, very friendly, and obviously they know the best dive spots and how to do them safely. So highly, highly recommend. That is all from me today, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Madeira was a blast. It was such an amazing experience, which is why I'm doing so many videos about this trip as well. I've already got a few of them in my Madeira, Exploring Madeira playlist, so if you want to check them out, please do. Don't forget to leave a like on the video. It really, really helps the channel grow. Please consider subscribing to the channel, not only for Madeira content, but a bunch of travel and fitness content as well. And as always, please leave your thoughts and opinions in the comment section. If you made it this far, please type fish in the comment section. That will let me know that you watched the video till the end. That is all from me today. I will see you in the next one.